All right, so currently we are actually discussing the reading part. Okay, and here in reading, we in fact have three different parts, like part A, part B, and part C. In fact, okay, right. And we will have to make sure that we answer 40 questions in 60 minutes. Okay, that's a task that we in fact have here. All right, and here mainly they are testing like how well we can actually identify the synonyms given for us. Okay, well, so let's see here. Which two of the following points does the writer make about King Joseph? Okay, so which two of the following points does the writer make about the King Joseph? Okay, so when you look at this particular question, you see that there are 5 different options given. Okay, there are 5 different options given, and out of the 5 options, okay, out of the 5 options, we actually have only 2 options correct. Okay, we only have 2 options which are correct, like that. And we need to identify which are those 2 options, all right, and how we actually have to identify them, like that. And in section 2, as you know, like there are different types of questions that are possible here. Okay, that is fill in the blanks. Okay, and we also have 25 and 26 as MCQ multiple. Okay, and also we have the questions about match the heading. So all these types we have. Okay, so when we discuss these questions and the approach to these questions one by one, then we will be able to answer the questions. Okay, now for 25 and 26, okay, which two of the following points does the writer make about King Joseph? Okay, so about King Joseph, where it is discussed, that we need to identify here. So how do we identify that? So we actually scan for the word that is actually given in the question. That's the main thing. Okay, so do not try to read the passages from top to bottom here. Okay, because that is not going to help us in any way, in fact. Okay, well, so let me just take you to the passage here. So this is the passage that we actually discussed for King Joseph. Okay, right. So here we have in one document we have questions, and in the other one we have the passages. Okay, so as we said, first writer make about the King Joseph. So the writer make here in the sense discuss. Which are the 2 points does the writer discuss about King Joseph? Okay, so this is something that we need to kind of understand for us, ideally. Okay, yeah, so now make and discuss. So first scan for King Joseph. Okay, so where is talking about King Joseph? So one, we can see that King Joseph, as we know, we discussed about this paragraph. Okay, and also once he has been discussed here. Okay, in multiple places he might have been discussed, but we just have to scan for the names wherever he is just discussed. Okay, do not try to read line by line. That doesn't help much. Okay, now in the 4th paragraph, there is nothing much about. And fifth paragraph. Okay, the name Joser is mentioned, but we just need to see where exactly about him it is discussed. Okay, about him as a
Excuse me,
person.
sir.
Sorry?
Sir, one doubt.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, tell me.
So these are options are given A, B, C, D, E. They are the passages, sir.
Exactly, yes. They are the passages,
Uh,
A, B, C, D,
okay.
E. And you see for match the heading questions, okay?
Okay.
Each question is the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that, one by one, 14, 15,
Okay.
16,
Okay.
17. Okay,
Okay.
right.
Okay. So from these passages, whichever passage is telling about the King Joseph, we have to search for that.
Exactly, yes. That is the quickest
Oh,
way, like that. Okay,
okay. Thank you, sir.
yeah, well, okay, right. So now we know, let us see what these options are also saying so that it's easy for us to identify things. So initially, persuaded to build stone rather than clay. Okay. There is disagreement concerning length of his reign. Okay, this is one thing. And he failed to appreciate uh, Imhotep's part. Imhotep could be another king, like that. Okay, so we have to quickly understand that there are multiple things that are said about King Joseph, but we'll have to see in the passage which one is actually true. So few of his possessions in the tomb were archaeologists found. Okay, and criticized the design and construction of the pyramid in Egypt. Whether he criticized or not, that we have to identify. Whether there is a disagreement concerning the length of his reign, that we have to identify. Whether he failed to appreciate somebody's part, that we have to identify. For that, we'll have to see that what is said about him. Okay. Now we see in paragraph B, if we closely observe, it talks about the King Joseph. How do I identify that? Read the first sentence always. Okay, and even the last sentence always to understand whether it is talking about that particular thing, point or not. Okay, that way
Yeah.
identify. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now we see in B, Chaucer was a first king, third dynasty of Egypt, built. Uh,
First building stone.
exactly. And now we see in the last sentence, as we see first and last sentence, we read always. So Joser is thought to have reigned.
Thought to have
Reigned means it's ruled. He
ruled.
ruled Joser for 19 years. But some historians and scholars attribute much longer time for his rule. So this
That is a
statement,
disagreement.
exactly, that connects to one of the points. What is that? Disagreement. Option
Yeah,
B.
true.
Yes, exactly. Okay, that's about the option 2, ideally. Like that. So this way we can ideally identify things within the limited span of time, like that. So we could identify one here. Okay, so the task is to find out two of them, boxes 25 and 26 in your answer sheet. So two options we have to identify for the answers. One we could identify, yes, it is option B. Okay, yeah. Very good. And fail to appreciate terms archaeologists found about it. Okay. And
The third point was in second paragraph, I think. Imhotep's part.
okay, in the third paragraph.
No, in second paragraph, 1, 2, 3, fourth line. The Joseph main official whose name
Okay.
was Imhotep.
Then conceived of building a taller, more impressive by his king by starting stone. Okay, but the point is that whether King Joseph failed to appreciate Imhotep's part, whether that is discussed or not, we have to see. So failing to appreciate Imhotep, that part is not discussed. Isn't it? Even though Imhotep is discussed, but it's nowhere mentioned that Joseph failed to appreciate his efforts. That is not.
But that progressively making them smaller. Actually, they considered of building a taller, more impressive tomb. But it was and progressively making them smaller to form the shape of now known as the step pyramid. It progressively making it be considered as a fail to appreciate or
no,
no.
he failed. The King Joseph did not make them progressively smaller. It was the Imhotep's idea. Okay, but the point is whether Joseph failed to appreciate his part of design or not. That we have to identify.
Okay.
Like that, okay, which is not discussed here. Okay, so that's the main part here, like that. Okay, and Egypt and the first to build with the stone. Okay, so first to build with the stone. So the dynasty was the first to build with the stone. So in the option says he had to be persuaded to build in stone rather than clay. But here there was no need of persuading him to build that. He was automatically building to that. Okay, so there is no need of persuasion. So that way option A cannot be selected for that. Okay, so this we have to observe here, the kind of verbs they use in order to give information is very crucial here, like that. Okay, because reading section doesn't involve a lot of reading. No, okay, it doesn't actually. Okay, so what we need to do, or what do they expect us to do, is to scan for the information that is actually given to us. Okay, scanning for the information that's given. So that's a major part here, in fact. Okay, well, now let's see which of the options. So we could eliminate C and even A. So B we have already selected. Few of his possessions were still in his tomb when archaeologists found it. So few of his possessions, like that. So
that is in paragraph E.
Exactly. So the information could be scattered across the passage, which is quite common. Okay, but by the time you could complete match the information type of question, you would have already come across the full passage. So you would know which paragraph discusses about what, right? So there is another paragraph here, if you remember, it talked about the king's body, you see, the burial chamber of the tomb where the king's body was laid to rest. Okay, so some vessels okay, discovered in the storerooms of pyramid passages, like that, right? So you say archaeologists on why the vessels were placed in the tomb of Joseph or what they were supposed to represent. Okay, so it means that some of his belongings were still there, which belonged to Joseph, like that. Okay, so that way we can select the possessions in the tomb where archaeologists found it. Like, okay, so that way we can select B and D, like that. Option E, he criticized the design and construction of other pyramids in Egypt. So we just need to see
No.
whether he criticized or not. That's all we have to see. Okay, so nowhere it is mentioned that he criticized something, isn't it? So that way
Yes,
we
sir.
can comfortably go ahead with finding out the answers, and that saves a lot of time for you, in fact. Okay. Well, okay, so that's how it is. All right. Okay. Now, this is another type of question in section 2, which actually is very important. Okay. Well, so any questions here? Please let me know.
No, sir.
All good? Okay.
No.
Fine. Yeah. So okay. Now let's see some more questions from same type so that you get more practice there. Yes, so this is another type of question, that is MCQ itself. It's multiple choice questions itself, but here there is only one option which is correct. Not two options, but one option. Okay. So if you have 5 options, and out of 5 options, if you have to select one option, then sorry, 2 options, so then it is called MCQ multiple, like that. If it is MCQ single, where out of 4 options, only one option is correct, in that case, we call it as MCQ single, like that. Okay. So this is how it is. So 14, 15, and 16. So you see that always 1 to 13 is section 1. 14 to 27 is section 2. 28 to 40 is section 3. By the numbers of the questions, you can identify what section it is. Okay, right. So now let's see.
We have a 4 section in reading task, no?
No, no, three sections.
3.
3 passages.
That first one we have to choose the correct heading.
Yeah, so in first section, usually you get true, false, and not given. Okay. And you also get fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Okay.
And
match the information. Okay. These type of questions you may usually get in section 1. And in section 2, usually again fill in the blanks and MCQs, multiple choice questions. And match the heading. So these questions are basically asked. Okay. And the level of difficulty increases from section 1 to 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now we see here that 14 to 16. The first thing that you have to do when you come to section 2, or any section for that matter, is to see the title of the passage first. Okay, like what is the title? It's very important that we get the title, because we should know what is the context of the passage, which makes it convenient for you to find the answers well. Okay. Yeah, so questions 14 to 26. That is, I contain multitudes. So we don't know what exactly that means. So Wendy Moore reviews Ed Yong's book about microbes. Okay, so you see that in IELTS academic, they generally choose university texts, mostly the typical academic university texts. It could be about some biology topic, some, the branches of biology. It could be zoology, botany, okay, or some sociology topics. Okay, but these topics do not test your subject knowledge. Okay, they do not test your subject knowledge. They only test your language skills. That's all. Okay, and when we say language skills, like how well we can identify the synonyms. Okay, synonyms means different words which have the similar meaning. That's what we call as synonyms here, actually. Okay, and how well we can identify the paraphrased statements. Paraphrased means the statement that is given here in the question, okay, would be rephrased in the passage, but in the similar order. But in the similar order, like that. I mean, in the similar meaning, like that. Okay. Well, so what you have to just understand is you should only scan for the particular information and read that only sentence to get the answer, not read the whole thing. Okay. Well, I contain multitudes. So Wendy Moore reviews Ed Yong's book about microbes. Okay, right. Now you don't have to go inside the paragraph here or passage here, not necessary. Okay, once you see the title, you come to the question. Okay, you come to the questions and see what type of question it is. It is, if it is MCQ single, look at the main question. Like in the main question, always use your pencil. Try to identify the words which actually are important or which convey some message to you. Like, what point does the writer make about
microbes?
In the first paragraph. Sometimes they're kind enough to tell you the address where to go. You see, in the second paragraph, in the fifth paragraph. Okay, like that. So they may give it, they may not give it. So it's a choice. Okay. Well, but everything is in order here. The order of the questions match the order of the passage. Okay, it's always like that. So what point does the writer make about microbes in the first paragraph? So in the options, let's say they adapt quickly. Okay, so two keywords. They, who are they here, by the way?
Microbes.
Very good. Yes, they use the pronouns very effectively here. Okay, so we need to be quick to understand what pronouns are the actual trying to use. So they adapt quickly to the environment. Adapt means, as you know, they are quite flexible about the environment. Okay, and the risk they pose has been exaggerated. So the risk, okay, is exaggerated. So that's what we are trying to understand here, whether it's risk, exaggerated, okay, overhyped, like that. They are more plentiful than plant life. Okay, like that. They will continue to exist for longer than human race. So we just have to look for these keywords in the passage. Okay, point this writer make about microbes. Let's see. All right, so we need to start with the first paragraph because, as I said, everything would be in the order here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, well, what they say about microbes, first identify where is the word microbe, scan for it, okay? And then they say, where are they talking about in terms of pronouns? Here is it, they, okay? Scan them, right? So now microbes populated, okay, they will outlive us. Say, as I said, identify the nouns and pronouns both. Okay, microbes, they. So it's mentioned in two different places. Okay, and in the first sentence, you will mostly find out the answer because it is about the introduction about microbes. Okay, so they will outlive us. Outlive means what? Okay, so it means they will live even after we
Every day.
perish. So is there any option that matches with that statement? They will
Option D.
outlive us. Option
No, sir.
D.
D. Yes, it's there.
D.
Yeah, correct. They will continue to exist for longer than the human race. Means even after the human race perishes, okay, they still continue to exist. Outlive means continue to exist. That's what they mean. All right. This is something that we have to quickly identify things in. Okay. And in order to just make sure that we check things properly, we can check the other options. They adapt quickly to the environment. Are they talking about adapting and to the environment quickly? Only in the first paragraph you have to check because they say that in the first paragraph. Okay, we don't have to go to second or third or fourth, not necessary. Okay, so quickly adapting. Adapting means adjusting. So scanning for the word adapting helps us identify things easily. Okay. Right. So is there any way that's mentioned?
No, sir.
No, they don't talk about. So you can eliminate that. And option B, the risk they pose has been exaggerated. So we need to scan for risk. Is there risk that is mentioned here? Okay. So that is not actually.
Yes.
Well, so that way quickly you can eliminate. They are more plentiful in animal life than plant life. So they are more plentiful. Okay, so of course they are talking about how populated this planet, but they are not comparing it with plant life. Right? Okay, so this way we can clearly identify the things easily. I hope the 14th one is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody? Okay. Well, that's good. Now let's see the next one. Okay, that is 15th one. In the second paragraph, okay, so you see they are actually giving us a source. In the second paragraph, the writer is impressed by the fact that. So what is that fact that he was impressed with? So in order to get this answer comfortably, the best way to deal with it is to scan for the word impressed. Okay, scan for the word impressed. Once you get the word impressed here, it will be easy for you to go back and compare it with it like that. What he was impressed with. Okay, so scan for the word impressed.
That is the third line given amazing.
What is amazing is that? Yes, amazing, impressed. So anything that is amazing would impress you. That's automatic, right? So this is what is reading about. How quickly we can identify the synonyms that are used by the person. Is that while the number of human cells in the average person is 30 trillion, the number of microbial ones is higher, about 39 trillion.
Brilliant.
Okay, so the microbial cells, okay, are more than the normal one. Okay, that's what he is trying to talk about. Okay, yeah. Okay, and meanwhile, if the class ends, please join back again immediately. Okay, using the same link as a single unit. Yeah, so this is what he talks about. Now we go back here, and that one sentence is enough for us to get the answer. Okay.
So C is the answer, sir. The average individual has more microbial cells than human ones.
The average individual. Okay.